Peace, bless, and love. This is L once again with another artist inspiration moment. And kind of picking up where we left off at the last time, we were talking about defining what success meant as an artist and having to have a baseline definition of what success meant. And there's two ends of the spectrum. One is baseline, meaning if I'm able to do what I want to do on a daily basis or on some regular basis, that's a level of success. The middle way to that other end is if I'm able to sustain my life, in other words, pay the bills and still do what I love, that's a level of success. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to be wealthy, doesn't mean you have a lot of money, but you're doing what you want to do. The next level after that would be success on a financial or material level, where you would say basically what you're doing is enough to not only sustain your lifestyle, but to afford you a decent amount of disposable income to do other things and to live the lifestyle ideally that you want to live. So, those are three phases of success, but we have to define what that means to us. Some people consider success just being able to do what they want to do and not quit their job. Some people define success as doing what they want to do to replace their income. But you have to come up with a conclusion of what that means to you, whether it's material success or financial success. Um, One of the things that a lot of people don't consider is how the road looks on the way from baseline to the level of a level of financial success. So what I did for you guys was to create a tool to kind of demonstrate the levels of success. You can see that. Probably have to turn it around. May have to actually just try and invert it up on the screen afterwards. But basically, what I came up with, just examining um, what I've experienced personally and what people around me have experienced, is baseline would be the first place. And I've broken this down into five levels of success. So, as artists and musicians, or artists and creatives, that would include musicians or anybody that creates, artwork or content along the line of the arts. What typically our starting point is just something that satisfies us. And so if you're able to maintain a livelihood and enjoy what you do, that's what we call baseline. And baseline, according to the levels of success, or five, what I call five levels of success, baseline means you can pay your bills, basically. So it's essentially probably where you are now. And so for some people, it means maybe perhaps in the beginning finding work that allows you the flexibility to do what you want to do on a regular basis. And so for a lot of people, that's good enough. Showing up to a weekly drawing class, doing sip and paints, participating or volunteering at music events, being an opening act, having a garage band, playing at a coffee shop. So that's your baseline level. Okay, your step up from baseline is going to be level one, which is bills and lifestyle. That means that you're making enough money from what you do, whether you're an artist or a musician, to actually be able to pay your bills without having to necessarily have a secondary job and maintain a lifestyle. And of course, the lifestyle is going to have to be around, basically what it is that you're doing. But it's like you're not quite there yet, but you're not struggling. So that's the next level. That's our yellow level, our orange level, level one. Level two is the disposable income. And what disposable income means is that now you're making enough money to actually have discretionary spending as far as having money on hand to kind of really do just about whatever it is you want to do. So that means you're no longer at baseline, you're no longer just maintaining a lifestyle or basic lifestyle. You're able to do maintain that lifestyle, and now you got money for vacation. Now you got money to do other things. And so at this point, you've seriously considered what it is you do as an artist or a musician or creative as a means of making an income. Now the next level up, level three, is investing. So now that you have disposable income, you can take vacations, all of this. The next level is where you develop the mindset that I need to actually invest money so that I'm not physically having to do all the work myself. This is the point where a lot of folks mess up, um, because they never remove themselves from the equation. That's very important. Now, I'm not saying that you don't continue to do your artwork and you don't continue to do your music or you don't continue to make or create whatever it is you make or create. But there has to reach a point to where you are not at the helm, meaning that the business goes on after or with or without you. The business is still making money, it's still sustainable. And it's usually at this step where you look at bringing on an assistant, somebody that can help you with your business, as well as looking at um, putting mechanisms in place to put your business on autopilot. So, for example, for artists, it would be something like setting up a store that you have somebody assist you in running that pays you money when you are not actually out performing. Or if you're a songwriter, setting up publishing rights that bring in money for you when you're not working. Or having a peripheral to sell, meaning a book or something about your story or your journey that brings in money in the background that's going to be appealing to your audience, which there's research that has to be done to understand that. But investing is the next level. Now, the initial investment, of course, is in yourself and what it is you can do in your business to make it so that you do not have to constantly physically be working in order for the business to thrive. Step number four is what we call stabilization. And that can kind of be tied into step three because now you're at a point of where you're making enough money between your actual performance or work and the residual coming in from secondary forms of income related to your business. Like I said, it could be art prints, it could be music, it could be publishing, it could be a video that you do that teaches what it is that you do as well. The last and top level um, of financial stabilization is the level we call duplication, dispensation, and diversification. So this is where you're able to take the model of what it is you've done to become successful and duplicate it. Meaning that if you want, you can actually show somebody in any kind of business how to do the same thing you did, and you can do this over and over again in other businesses. It could be business related to your business, or you could take your business itself and package it and sell it to somebody else that wants to do the same thing, that has money to invest. And now we're talking about somebody with serious money. You give them the blueprint. Dispensation is where you begin to teach what you do, or you give this knowledge out, and you do this the same way that everybody else does through some social media platform, through public speaking, and in that way, people can actually see um, what it is specifically you do from talking with you, from hearing it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Diversification. This is where all that money that you're bringing in now, you're making enough where you not only invest in yourself, but now you begin to put your money in places where it can duplicate or make money for you, such as the stock market, such as angel funding, and you have money coming in the background. So now you're fully to a point of where you can be as deep artistically or spiritually as you want to be without the burden of I gotta go get this bag. It's coming in passive. So everything we're talking about here, it runs counter to what you typically hear. Now, it's not to say that you don't have to have hard work or put in hard work. It's not saying that at all. But what it's saying is, organically, we want to do things that are that's conducive to our well-being and health. And despite what anybody says, you do have to put time in, but you don't have to hurt yourself physically to be able to diversify and to be able to create the lifestyle that you want as an artist and as a creative. So this is part two. We'll be talking about part three in a few days, but make notes of this stuff because at the end of the day, these are things that I've done personally to succeed. And these are things that I know in the end will help you on your path to success as a creative. This is L. Appreciate you watching. Hit the like and subscribe button for me. This is something that people have begged me to do, and now I'm finally doing it. I'm giving you my 20 plus years of experience in the arts and in business as an entrepreneur, the mistakes I've made, things I would do differently if I had to change it, and what actually works for me that I know is universally applicable to you as well. Till next time, I just want to say peace, blessings, and always mind your biz.